The evidence seems to indicate that you're watching Dolly Vision.
Jumping up, Dolly Vision's dreaming real. True crime scene blast feel so unreal. YouTube madness, like, share, subscribe. Jack's on fire, burning the world fire. Where's the baby missing? Shadows crawl. People whisper footsteps down the hall. Fingerprints of the dead, cold as stone. He's got the scoop, best around town known. Dolly Vision headlines, King the Beat. Truth unravels, crackling through the heat. Lost soul shining, head goes in the night. Rock the truth while live on air light. Jumping up, Dolly Vision's dreaming real. True crime scene blast feels so unreal. YouTube madness, like, share, subscribe. Jack's on fire, burning the world fire. Where's the baby missing? Shadows crawl. People whisper footsteps down the hall. Fingerprints of the dead, cold as stone. He's got the scoop, best around town known. Dolly Vision headlines, King the Beat. Truth unravels, crackling through the heat. Lost soul shining, head goes in the night. Rock the truth while live on air light.
YouTube, where's the babies? Where's the babies? That is the question we've been asking for weeks, okay? Matter of fact, going on 3 weeks that little Jack and Lily have been missing with no answers. And we're going to be talking about that today. Also, we're going to be talking the sad situation of Sebastian Rogers. It looks like this case is going very, very cold pretty quickly. All right, but first, I'm going to need you guys to leave your DNA all over that like button just in case you go missing in the hills of Tennessee or all the way in the deep woods of Nova Scotia. Dolly's going to come track you down like a bloodhound, but I'm going to need that DNA on file. I don't care if you elbow smash it, head butt it, drop kick it, whatever. Also, we're getting close to hitting 66,000 people, and we're doing one of our biggest giveaways yet on this channel. We've given away a lot of shirts and hoodies, but at the end of August, we're giving away a brand new iPhone 16 to one lucky subscriber here. Now, if you're already subscribed, you don't have to do nothing to enter. You're already entered in it. If you're brand new out there, make sure you sub up the channel, ring the bell for notifications, and of course, feel free to share my ugly damn face everywhere. Share it everywhere, okay? Long as it's not Pornhub. Don't put it on Pornhub. And if you do, at least put it in the ugly category. In the ugly category. So, you know, in the Sebastian Rogers case, we've been trying to cover both cases because, you know, Sebastian's getting left behind a little bit because Jack and Lily is the really big story right now because it's 2 kids, right? Usually we're dealing with 1 kid that's missing, but in the Jack and Lily case, there's 2 children. And if this would have been in the United States, right? If Jack and Lily would have went missing in the United States, this shit would be a huge, huge deal. But since it's a small province of Canada, thank you, Be Watching Secret, for joining. All right, helping us hit 66,000. And you can be cool, like Be Watching, okay? So in the United States, this would be plastered all over the news. It would be the top story on every news channel out there. But it ain't really getting the press that it actually deserves, Jack and Lily. A lot of YouTubers have been keeping this case in the spotlight far as, nationally and globally around the planet. Us YouTubers, Canada, they're not even sharing these kids all over Canada. It's not even a top story. And it's 2 children missing, right? Under strange circumstances. Completely mind-blowing. You see how big of a deal Sebastian Rogers was for the last year, and he's one child, and he's a teenage child, not a baby. Okay, I mean, technically, 15, 16 years old, you're a baby, all right? To most of us old people, you're a baby, but not a little tiny baby. There was better odds of Sebastian Rogers actually running away, and that was a huge story because nobody completely believed that Sebastian Rogers had ran away, okay? People believed something had happened in that house, and let me give my warnings because a lot of these people like to put people in jail, sue people. You know how it goes on YouTube streets. They hit you with cease and desist and all kinds of things. So Dolly Vision's for entertainment purposes only. We talk news, rumors, gossip, speculations, theories, mixed with a little bit of comedy and a whole lot of chaos. Don't take nothing here as fact. It's just my opinion, people. Completely satire. Callers' opinions are theirs and theirs alone, not to reflect on Dolly. Don't get me sued, people. Everyone is innocent to proven guilty in a court of law. That includes Daniel, Malehya, Seth Rogers, Katie Proudfoot, and Chris Proudfoot, and even the Bauer Sox, okay? Innocent to proven guilty. And the biggest one of them all, the biggest one by now, all 600 of you that's in here with me right now, y'all should know this one. If you break every 10 commandment there is, never break this rule, okay? Never, and I mean ever, try to be Dolly at home. It is extremely dangerous. Your head can blow up, okay? Not a whole lot of brain matter, just a lot of blood, okay? Just a lot of blood, ain't much up in there. So don't do it. You could end up crashing and dashing as a DoorDash driver. You don't need it, okay? So like I was saying, one of the, Seth, let's jump into the Sebastian, then we'll get to Lily and Jack Sullivan missing and the information, the most recent information that's coming out on these 2 children. So, we've been seeing Seth kind of get left behind. Seth was the whole show for YouTube, and then bam, Jack and Lily went missing. And a lot of these YouTubers that were Team Sebastian, they kind of jumped right over to, Sebastian's army. The green team is what a lot of you guys out there on the internet called them, the green team. Dog the bounty hunter was supposed to be kicking in doors, and all these things were supposed to be shaking and baking and happening, and people getting arrested. For you, Bub, LOL. Yes, I did go to the comedy club last night. I did get to meet Damon Darlin, and he is the TikTok star, 500,000 people on YouTube, and he does the, hey, you got $1, Bub, okay? He was a really cool guy. We got some pictures. He even did a plug for us here on YouTube, and I'll air that sometime soon, that what he said for the YouTube viewers here. And he also signed a $1 bill for me, and it says, Damon Darlin on the $1 bill. I got it hung in a thing in my living room. Super cool. Cool, good times. If you ain't checked him out on YouTube, make sure you check him out. I'll tell you this. His stand-up is a lot funnier than his videos. In his videos, he's pretty PG, but in his stand-up, he's rated R, okay? A little more rated R in his stand-up comedy than he is in his TikTok videos and his YouTube stuff. So, pretty funny. It was pretty funny. I had a really good time last night. But let's stay on track. Seth got a little left behind in this. Everybody has kind of moved on from Sebastian to bigger stories, which happens on the YouTube. When something happens, as we cover true crime, we have to cover these things. And sometimes these other children, they kind of get left behind a little bit. We've seen it in the Summer Wells case. We've seen it in Michael Monkey Vaughn. We've seen it in Cody Bigsby. It's just the nature of the beast, what YouTube is. people want to talk about the big stories, and when they do that, you got to leave behind some of the stories that you've been pushing on for a year. You can't talk about the same thing over and over again. People get tired of that. They want new content. And it's bad for Seth, right? Because a lot of people don't think I like Seth, and that's never been the case. I haven't really liked the people that Seth has surrounded himself with, or the YouTube creators that he has buddied up with, right? Because I felt like these people were going to be the first ones to leave them. These were the ones that didn't really care about these kids missing. These are the same people that sit there in their desk and talk about it, but don't never get out, put out no flyers. They don't get out in the woods search, and they don't go to these locations. They don't try to help. Okay. They do spread awareness. They do. I ain't gonna shit on everybody. I think even these people do help spread awareness, which is a good thing. But far as being really good people that care, I don't know about some of them. I ain't gonna mention no names. I'm gonna be nice today. I'm gonna be nice, okay? But that was one of the reasons that I was like, man, because I felt bad for Seth at first, because I thought, these people were leeching on to Seth, and Seth was just, wanting answers for his child, like any parent would want, right? Even if my puppy went missing, Lolo or Wrangler, I would want answers for my fur babies. So any parent out here or grandparent, they would want answers for their child, just like Seth does, right? So there's been many a times that I've felt sorry for Seth, and now I'm starting to feel sorry for Seth again. And I told Seth, I was like, Seth, in the end of all this, I'll be here for you. All words and talking shit about each other's side, I'll be here for you. And when it comes down to this, we're not going to forget this child. We're not going to leave Sebastian Rogers behind. Okay. Every life on this planet matters. Every child matters, especially when you believe there's some foul play involved in the situations. Just like Jack and Lily. We believe there's some foul play that's going on in the case of Jack and Lily. That's why it's so big right now, especially because of the foul play, and everybody believes the parents are suspicious. Now, there's not a whole lot of people out there that think Seth Rogers is suspicious. Okay. There just ain't. He has a pretty solid alibi that he was at work, and he works as a correctional officer. There's a lot of cameras there. Now, there was a time period that Seth wasn't on camera for 2 hours, but it is alleged that he went to his truck and he took a nap because he works the overnight shift. Okay. So Seth is a little upset that the police don't seem to be looking for Sebastian anymore. They're not putting together searches anymore. They're not doing much of anything to bring answers or closure to this family that is missing their child, which is Seth Rogers, right? No, and to see Seth on TV today, do a news interview, and it's pretty much heartbreaking, Even though Seth has a bad people around him, I still feel really bad for Seth, and especially in this interview that he gave, because you can tell he's at the point where he feels like nobody cares about his child. And that's absolutely not the case, right? I'm sure there's people out here that actually care. Now, a lot of these YouTubers he thought were his friends, he's seeing quickly that ain't the case, that, his kid was the big thing. And then once his kid ain't, they on to the next show, right? And that is terrible. That is terrible, because he trusted these people. He put faith in all these sorry ass people out here, and look at them now. All right, look at them now. Let's add this to the stage. This is the interview that he gave today, and let's check it out. $453. Oh, oh, okay. Y'all can't hear it. Hold on. I'll fix that for you guys. All right. Let me back it up. All right, here we go.
Has been 453 days since now 16-year-old Sebastian Rogers vanished from his home in Hendersonville. His disappearance sparked national headlines, but now his father says the case is losing momentum. With National Missing Children's Day coming up on Sunday, he is raising his voice and demanding urgency. News 2's Caitlin Quisenberry is outside the Sumner County Sheriff's Office, where Sebastian's father made an emotional plea today. Caitlin.
Sebastian's biological father, Seth Rogers, was deeply frustrated when he spoke with me. He fears the case is going cold.
My son's been missing for 15 months, and they don't care.
Sebastian disappeared in February last year. He was just 15 years old. Initial search efforts involved local police, the TBI, and the FBI. But those physical searches have since shifted to focus on the investigative side. The last press conference on the case was more than a year ago.
I would love to see them actually conducting more searches. I'd like to have some communication on the tips that have come in just with me, so that I know that when a tip comes in, I'm not following up on what job they're supposed to do.
Seth says only one detective is actively assigned to the case and that he is often left to chase down the same leads, also sent to law enforcement.
We need more than just one set of eyes on this case, but it all falls on my shoulders to ask people to help find my son. My son means something to me. These people should be doing their job.
In his push for progress, Seth says he's reached out to lawmakers and is even drafting federal legislation aimed at reforming how child protection agencies and the Amber Alert system handle missing children's cases.
It's a federal oversight law on places like CPS, DCS, the Amber Alert, getting it redone and taking it out of people's hands that don't care about the children.
According to the FBI, an estimated 460,000 children are reported missing in the U.S. every year. Seth says every one of those cases deserves attention, including Sebastian's.
A parent demands answers. We demand answers because our heart is missing. He is my world. I need him. I need him back with me.
We reached out to the Sumner County Sheriff's Office for a statement. They assured us this case remains a top priority and said in part, please know that behind the scenes, a tremendous amount of work has been done and will continue. Some aspects of the investigation are not visible to the public due to the sensitive nature of the case. Sebastian's family continues to ask for the community's help. If you know anything about Sebastian's whereabouts, you're asked to call the Sumner County Sheriff's Office or the TBI. Those numbers can be found on our website at WKRN.com. Live in Gallatin, Caitlin Quisenberry, News 2.
Okay. Here's the thing. Let me pause that. A lot of people, they still have a bad taste in their mouth about Seth Rogers. They do. A lot of the stuff that happened, a lot of the cease and desist letters going out, him trying to stop people from talking about his son, sending mixed messages. But still, listen, guys, he is the father of a missing child, right? Even I have given Seth a hard time when Seth hasn't been doing everything right. He is doing what is right this moment, okay? And I'm not going to kick this man when he's doing the right thing, okay? He's out there screaming. He's out there pleading. He's raising hell with the police, which he should have been doing this whole time. Instead of surrounding himself with these bad people, grifters and con artists and things like that, right there, he's out there on his own. He is the voice for Sebastian Rogers. That's the voice that everybody on the internet fell in love with, his pleading, him alone, right? And needing the community's help. That's why I rallied behind Seth. That's why I jumped on an airplane. That's why I flew to Tennessee, was that man that we just seen right there. Same emotion as in the beginning, right? That was the man that needed help. My offer still stands to Seth. I'm here to help you, Seth. You know what I'm saying? When all these people are gone, I'll be right beside you. If you want to get out in those woods and you want to organize some searches, you let me know. You know how to get a hold of me. You had TikTok Tony call me, or TikTok Tony call me on his own. Y'all know how to get a hold of me. You have my personal number. Thanks to Miss Bullhorn Betty out there giving my shit out. All right. Anybody want her number? Let me know. So look, So y'all know how to get a hold of me, and get out there, get searching for these kids. I told you, man, you're the voice of Sebastian Rogers. You've always been the voice for Sebastian Rogers. You I think you lacked a little bit of courage, or you didn't realize how powerful your voice is, but your voice is the one that got all of YouTube, all of the country, America's Most Wanted talking about your child. That was you. This wasn't them people. Okay. This wasn't Dolly. This was you. Okay. You were the voice. And then you tried to give that voice to other creators and TikTok Tony, when you should have stood on your own 10 toes deep and fought for your child, just like you're doing right now. Right? Because what I've seen today from you is absolutely heartbreaking, and you are 100% totally right. That these people need to be fighting for your kid as humanly much as possible. There needs to be some transparency with you. Them letting you know if they ain't got nothing, they need to let you know. There's things that you can do to push this forward, and I hope and pray that you do those things. Listen, you may have had a rough year and a half, but that don't mean the next year and a half has to be the same. You know, I try to tell people, if you do the same thing over and over again and expect a different result, it is the definition of insanity. Seth, it is time to change it up. It's time to put these organized searches together. It's time to get people back out in those woods and get people searching for your son. Really important. You know, my heart bleeds for you. I know there's been a lot of chaos and drama over this year and a half, but truly, I hope and pray to God that you get the answers for your son, and whoever's responsible. I'm not going to sit up here and blame Chris and Katie or anybody, right? Whoever is responsible for your son, I pray to God that they pay with every drop of justice that they get, okay? Everything. And guys, it's still important to continue to share Sebastian Rogers photos. Just because Jack and Lily's missing him right now, this is the big story. Same thing with Summer Wells' photos. Same thing with Michael Monkey Vaughn.
You were right about the brother. If you look at the pic of him on the quad, no mud or on his boots. Brother of stepdad, it was muddy.
Yes, you were right about the brother. If you look at the pic of him in the quad, no mud on his boots, brother or stepdad, it was muddy. Okay, thank you so much, Nicole. So now let's jump into the story that a lot of you guys have come here to hear about, and that is Jack and Lily Sullivan, 6 years old, go missing almost 3 weeks ago, Nova Scotia, Pictou County, Canada, under strange circumstances, right? A lot of similarities in the Sebastian Rogers case, as far as a stepdad, a mother with lack of emotion, okay? And is this a normal thing for parents not to show much emotion? And to my world, it's not. I'm a super emotional person. I can cry at a sad movie. If my dog was missing, I'd be sitting here crying. And I'm talking about, ugly crying is what people call it, when your face all squints all up and tears and snot and all that's coming out your face. I'm one of those criers when I cry. I can't cry pretty. And I understand people need to hold it together for their children to get that information out there, right, to the public. Like, we seen one interview from the mother, Malehya, and super speaking in past tense, no emotion. Like, you would have thought, I've seen people sadder over their dogs running away. Okay. She had very little emotion. And it was real similar to what Chris Watts had said when, his wife and kids had went missing. Oh, I can't sleep at night. And, but you're so calm. You was asleep that night that they went missing when you wasn't checking on them. And, making themselves out to be these great parents when we actually know they're not as good as what they said they were. Now, the police, just like in the Sebastian Rogers case,
Harmony Montgomery settlement was signed today. Eyes emoji.
Yes. Here's the thing. Okay, I'm going to get off topic. I'm going to squirrel for a minute. Harmony Montgomery's mother, okay, she took a agreement today with the state for $2 million, okay? So at this point, she is, got $2 million. That will never bring her daughter back. Now let's pray to God that she does the right things and she stays off drugs, because she has battled with drugs and addiction for a long time. And that's why, CPS was involved. That's why there was the kids in foster care and things like that. But, I sat right behind her in court. Okay. I sat right behind Harmony Mamas in court, and I watched her cry the whole time I was in there. Some people feel like, she's partly responsible for what went down because of her drug addiction and her giving the kids up and things like that. I don't look at that the same way. I pray she does the right things and she continues the good path in her life. She's with a new guy, and I seen him myself. He looks like a pretty decent guy, right? I can't say he is, but he appears to be. He was there comforting his old lady and, being there for her when she really needed him. So he seems like a decent guy to me. And, sometimes you got to get around the right people to encourage you not to, hey, don't do the drugs. You don't need that, right? So hopefully she don't get a lot of money and something bad happen to her. That's the only scary situation in that. But she deserves every penny of that. The social services failed this woman. They failed Harmony Montgomery, and it gives you a bad taste in your mouth about our CPS or your DCS, or what is it? I forget what they call it in Canada already. But the same thing, they didn't even get out the car to check on Harmony Montgomery. And of course, later on, Harmony Montgomery was beaten to death by her father. So it's important that when we put these people, we give these people this power in CPS and DCS, that they do the job to the best of their abilities, right? And that wasn't the case in Harmony Montgomery. But you're absolutely right. A settlement was reached today of $2 million. And I believe her name's Crystal. PJ, the mother's name's Crystal, right? Harmony's mom? Ain't it Krista Sorry? Harmony
Crystal Sorry.
Yeah, Crystal Sorry. That's what I thought it was. Yeah, so hopefully there's still, they find Harmony's body. But the way it sounds, that Adam's never going to talk. The person that was with Adam that night don't seem like he's ever going to talk.
Sure, when he put the baby in a blender.
He put her in a blender.
You don't remember that?
I remember they were saying he was squeezing the blood out of her and trying to pack her down.
He put pieces of her in a blender and then allegedly drove in a freaking U-Haul, and people are saying that he tossed out pieces.
Yeah. I mean, it is alleged that is absolutely trigger warning people, that he may have, put out pieces of Harmony Montgomery. And it looks like Harmony Montgomery may never be found. Okay. She may never be found, but we know what happened to her. And like I said, you can't put a price on a child. $2 million. It sounds like a lot of money.
1.1. The other half goes to the kids. Cherry blossom emoji.
Okay. The other half goes to the kids. Still, she deserves more than that. Okay. In my opinion, some people may disagree with that, right? But I believe she deserves more than that. Her child would have been alive if social services hadn't failed this child. Now, the man that did this, the social service worker, he delivers mail for the U.S. Postal Service right now. Okay, because I was in court, I seen him. It made me cry. What a terrible, shitty human being. Okay. I hope karma bites this mailman. I hope a dog runs out and gets him right in the ass cheek. Okay. Every dog he walks by should bite him. Okay. That's how he shouldn't have a job in the government whatsoever. Right. So it is hard to believe that he could go from one job working for the city to another job working for the city. They should give him a city job working at the trash dump, because that's where he belongs. Dude is trash. If he could have saved that little girl's life, right? And I mean, it ain't just his fault. Of course, it's Adam's fault. It's what was the girlfriend's name? Kayla Montgomery. it was her fault too. It was all of their faults, man. Everybody failed Harmony Montgomery, and just a little bit of money don't make things right. That's how I look at it. It's a lot of money, but it still don't make things right. You know, if you would have gave her 50 million, you know, it still won't bring your child back. It still will not bring your child back. And, you know, people are like, well, the kids were in foster care anyway, and she wasn't taking care of the kids. Why should she get this? Right? Because she gave birth to that kid. She'll never, you know, everybody has a chance to fix their life. Right? Like if you know, people get hooked on drugs. It's bad. We hope people don't do it, but they do. And do we kick people or do we lift people up in this world? She has to be given the opportunity to get her life together. And when she got her life together, she should be able to see her kids, right? If she gets her life together. And she was getting her life together, right? She was struggling with it, but she was doing the programs and things she was supposed to do. And now she's clean. And now she don't have a daughter. It's horrible. That is absolutely horrible. Now, we see these parents out here that are screaming from the rooftops, right? Seth, today, screaming from the rooftops. You can't get no more heartbroken and screaming from the rooftops than out there screaming, fuck the police, right? And then we got Malehya, we got Daniel, and I would say Daniel's out there doing, you know, speaking and trying to bring awareness to this in a weird, strange, suspicious ass way. But then we got Malehya out here, and I believe she's straight lying to the public. And if she's lying, why don't the police come out and tell us, hey, she's lying? We never told her that. Right? Because, you know, they're stating that the police have told them not to talk, not to give interviews. And I've never heard of that in a missing kids case. Right? Name a family out here that the police have told not to give interviews. Look, they want people talking. They want Malehya talking. They want Daniel talking, because when they talk, they make mistakes. Now, I think they're closing in on the situation here, okay? I think they're closing in. Before I tell you those reasons, though, I want you guys to do me a favor. There it is, 1,600 of you here. And I guarantee you we don't even have 800 likes on this video. My psychic spidey senses are telling me, Peter Pumpkin Patch, we ain't got 800 likes, okay? That's what my spidey senses are telling me. I'm going to need you dudes and women, to do me a little favor. Hit the like button for me. It helps spread awareness, not just for Jack and Lily, but Sebastian and all these kids that we speak about. There's still people out here that don't know nothing about it. That's why it's so important for you guys to like the video. I don't get paid by likes, okay? It just helps boost the video in the algorithm so more people see it, more awareness is spread. So once you do that, I want you to do me a favor, and I want you to shout out where you're watching from in the chat room. All right? Don't cheat. Like the video, and then I want to see where you beautiful people are watching my ugly ass from. All right? I know we got people. We should have a lot of people today here from Nova Scotia, all around the world. I see Missouri. What's up, Dolly Hatchet? What's up, California? Oregon, Rhode Island. We got 575 likes. That's even worse. I was giving y'all the benefit of the doubt at 800. Okay. So, listen, thank you, Susan. And you guys can be cool like Susan that just subbed up and help us hit 66,000 subscribers. Okay. And like I said, we got a big, huge contest going on that we're going to be giving away that iPhone 16 at the very end of August. So one lucky person that subbed up to the channel, you're going to get the new iPhone. Okay. And that's the biggest giveaway we've done here yet on this channel. Usually it's t-shirts and hoodies. And I was going to drop some money in YouTube to do advertisements for the channel. But I was just like, let's just do a cool giveaway. And it'll all be the same, right? I don't know how good paying YouTube to advertise really is. I don't know because I ain't never done it. Oh, yeah. Thank you for joining. Ireland's with us, Arkansas, New York, liked and shared. Thank you so much, Teresa. Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Missouri, Arkansas, Utah. You're not going to block me, are you, Dolly? Why would I block you, Art Lady? I don't block people. My mods do all the handling of that. I can't remember the last time that Canada's with us. I can't remember the last time that I blocked somebody. Okay. So if you come in here and you're respectful and you're good people, there's no reason to ever worry about being blocked here. If you know, you don't have to have the same opinion as me. We're not an echo chamber. Thank you, Jenna, for becoming a member. That's a good way to keep Dolly alive and jumping on the Blessed Express with us tonight. Will, thank you, Will. Good to see you, brother. Glad you could be here with us. Northern Virginia's with us. So we got people from basically Ken. Hey, Ken, thank you for joining up, brother. We got people from all over the country, all over the world here with us today. Thank you. Thank you for joining up. That is awesome. So we're on a roll. We're on a roll now, right? We're on a roll. Everybody joining up. Thank you, guys. Maybe we can hit 66,000 today. You know, we're on that road to 100K. I definitely can't do it without you. Now, I'm going to tell you guys, in this case of Jack and Lily, my number one suspects are definitely the parents. And I know a lot of you guys, because we've been taking polls daily of what people think about this. And most people agree that they believe that the parents have something to do with the disappearance of Jack and Lily. All right. Now, we know that the police have come out and they've took this trail cam footage. Gail, thank you for being a member. And now we don't know what's on this trail cam footage, right? Because they've been hitting up all the neighbors. But they waited a little long to start gathering this information, right? Because, you know, we 3 weeks in. The pink, thank you for subbing. The pink, I just like the pink witch. It's hard for me to see, guys. I don't have my glasses on. Thank you, the pink witch. Miss Matt Murphy, I think that says. Thank you for joining up. Thanks for being here with us. That's awesome of you. I hit the like I promised. Thank you. That is awesome of you guys. Thank you for the support. Thank you for everybody that donates. And if you can't donate, no big deal. Hit that like button, share it. All of it helps the channel grow. You guys are absolutely the best. So I believe the walls are closing in on the parents. I believe the reason they took these trail cam videos is because they want to see if the parents, because you know they wanted video 5 days before the children, I said child, but children went missing. That tells you right there.
Based on the most recent info, what do you think happened? What do you think we might see on the trail cams?
Well, I think they're going to see these parents leaving or possibly leaving before Friday with the children. Okay. A lot of people don't believe these children went missing Friday. We know that Lily and Jack didn't go to school Thursday, and they didn't even attempt to send them to school Friday. Okay. So a lot of people believe that Wednesday they had off of school for
Ayla Reynolds' dad said the exact same thing about being advised not to talk to news, and turns out he did it. They all say I've been advised. Triangular flag on post emoji.
Yeah, I get really skeptical of that type of stuff when people say, oh, they told me not to talk. Well, the police are never going to tell you not to talk. They want people to talk. That's where they catch people in mistakes. That's how they prosecute people, things like that. But I believe these walls are closing in. The reason they want those videos prior to the kid going missing is because they want to see if the parents left with those kids and possibly never came back, who was in the area, things like that. And you know, it's really suspicious that Lily didn't go to school that day, and then the following day she just magically vanishes. Okay, if that ain't suspicious to somebody in here, like every one of my red flags in my sleuth world go off, right? Like it just does. And I believe that when we heard them talk in those first interviews, and they were really similar in what they said, almost like it was scripted, you know, like they had rehearsed it or they had discussed what they were going to say to the media, right? So we both heard them come out and say that the kids would talk to anybody, that they would get in the car with anybody, They both believe that the kids were abducted, right? Without, your first instinct would be the kids are lost because the kids got out of the house. What are the odds of the kids getting out as an abductor just happens to be passing by in the middle of nowhere? Can it happen? Yes, it can. But the odds are highly unlikely that something like this is happening. So I believe from after Friday, we know major crimes units came in, okay, on that Saturday, because they went missing on Friday. Well, reported, we got to say it like this. They were reported missing on Friday. Major crime unit came in Saturday. And when they did the press conference a week later, we seen that major crimes looked like they knew something or suspected something, and they were scaling the search back. Okay. The only reason you would scale a search back is because you're investigating other avenues and you don't believe the children are out there. Now, they did say, the probability of them children being in the woods for a week in the conditions and the terrain, that it was highly unlikely that these children didn't survive. Now, just like the Sebastian Rogers case that we talked about earlier, the police did their first initial search, which was a heavy search, horses, four-wheelers, hundreds of people out there searching. Helicopters, fixed-wing planes, drones, all looking for Sebastian. Same kind of situation, looking for Jack and Lily. Okay, they did that for a good solid week, 10 days, and then they scaled it back to we'll investigate leads. Then Tennessee Bureau of Investigations, they did another in Sumner County. They did another search, their second search, and they went out heavy one more time. And I told everybody right then, I said, listen, if they don't find nothing in this search, the searching for Sebastian Rogers is over. This is it. Same thing in Canada. They did this last push over the weekend, and they brought in all these people from these different agencies. That was their last real search for Jack and Lily. Listen, these police departments have budgets. They can only search for so long. The rest of the crime don't stop. So, police have to be other places and doing other things to fight crime, right? And doing their job. So they can't focus but so much on one person, especially when they believe that if you are out there, you're deceased. So then what they do is they scale it back, that if a lead comes in, then they'll send searchers out to search areas of interest. That's basically what they call it, areas of interest. And I believe they still will do that in the Jack and Lily case if somebody comes forward with a tip. Okay. This is something huge. And I'm going to talk about this later tonight on my show, but I'm going to give you a little bit of what I'm going to be talking about tonight. Why is there no reward for Jack and Lily? Okay. FBI has released a reward of $50,000 for the whereabouts of Sebastian Rogers. Now, there's a lot of people out there grifting and lying on Sebastian's name, and allegedly the reward is supposed to be like $500,000. But if anybody believes that, and that dog is kicking in doors and making citizens arrests in these missing kid cases, I caught so much hell when I said that stuff wasn't true. Oh, dog's done so much. He's caught so many people. Yes, fugitives that he has their name, their address, their family members who bonded them out of jail. Of course, I can catch you like that, right? If you give me your name and address and your family members and who got you out of jail, Dolly a damn sure track you down in a matter of minutes. Okay. So I'm not too impressed with that. And, as far as finding missing kids, has this man ever found a missing kid? And so many people love the show Dog the Bounty Hunter. I love it. I like Dog. I'm a fan of Dog the Bounty Hunter. I truly am. I think Dog's pretty awesome. But when it comes to missing kid cases, I think that's just some stuff that people like this should stay out of. I think Dog has built a legacy for herself. And when you come in here and you do things like this, you're kind of destroying your legacy. You're making people think you're not credible and things like this. Now, he's going to be in Tennessee doing, at a car show kind of thing. People keep sending me the flyer for, a meet and greet, right? But that, you said you was going to be kicking in doors, making arrests, and Katie and Chris, I'm coming for you, and all kinds of things, and 890 likes here. Thank you. And those things never happen. Thank God right now, Jack and Lily's case has not turned into a fraudulent circus, okay? Because quickly it can turn into that, right? And like I said, nothing bad against Dog. I really like Dog. I love this show with Beth. I think Beth was kind of that glue that held everything together in that family. And then kind of when Beth went bye-bye, rest in peace to Beth. I thought she was awesome. Things kind of took a drastic change in their life, their family life. And I'm not going to get into the things Dog did or said or anything like that. I just think that this really, ain't the place for Dog in missing kids and true crime. Now, as far as crime itself and chasing fugitives and, bounty hunting, and the most famous bounty hunter all times, right, has to be Dog the Bounty Hunter. Don't destroy that legacy trying to get attention in places you don't need it. That's the best advice I could give to somebody like that. Is like, look, man, you making yourself look bad, and I wouldn't do that because people respect you, and quickly people will lose respect for you, especially when we're dealing with missing kids. Okay, don't make promises that you can't keep, right? Because people expect that when you say something, especially in this genre of what we do, we expect when you say something, you follow up on what you say and you do what you tell the people to do. There's a lot of people out here that gave me a hard time when I said, look, this ain't happening like you think it is. This ain't, this. But everybody was like, Dolly, he's bringing it national attention. It already had national attention. It was already on all these channels. I think it gave people false hope, and that is a terrible thing. It is a terrible thing when you think people out there fighting the best fight, and they really ain't. Okay. And I'm gonna keep it nice. I'm gonna keep it nice like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be trying to stay on the nice level today with everybody. Not say nothing bad about anybody. I'm trying to be fair to 100% fair and nice to everybody out here that's involved in this stuff, because in the end of it, we're all fighting the same fight. Okay, even these channels that I don't like, we're all fighting the same fight. We all want kids to be found. We all looking for answers. Some of us in different ways. Some people are looking for paychecks. Some people are looking for answers. But we're all out here spreading awareness. That's the good in it. Okay, that is the absolutely good in that. Now, as far as Jack and Lily, were these kids abducted? And it's good that we watched the Seth Rogers video, because he spoke on the Amber Alert. To be honest, and this is not a dig at Seth, there should have never been an Amber Alert for Sebastian Rogers. There was never no signs of abduction. There was never no signs of a vehicle. There was never no signs of anybody taking Sebastian or him contacting anybody. There's no signs that he was in extreme danger. He didn't take life change. If he didn't have his medicine, it wouldn't kill him. It ain't like he took heart medicine or anything for any major organ in his body. Okay, he took medicines to help him sleep. Okay, you can live without that. So to be honest, he did not fit the guidelines for Amber Alert. He just didn't. I mean, he just didn't. Neither did these kids. That has to change. Do I believe an Amber Alert should have went out for Sebastian Rogers? Which it did. Sherry, thank you. Yes, I believe it was a good thing they put out that Amber Alert for Sebastian Rogers. It kind of breaks my heart that they didn't put out an Amber Alert for these kids. Not only that, like I said, that I'm going to be talking about later tonight, there's no reward for these kids. Okay, so there's no incentive for anybody to talk. Like some of these people out here where they live in Pictou County, nothing about wrong with being, poor, not wealthy, or not having much. It appears a lot of these people don't have a lot. Okay, so you put up a reward, people may talk. They may say something they know. If that party or the rumors about the party was there is true, maybe one of these party goers may know something, and you offer a $25,000 reward Listen, you live in the middle of nowhere, $25,000 may last you a couple years. Okay. So that's more income than a lot of these people are making a year. You know, what is that average income? $24,000 a year on the poverty level. Like, you know, so you may talk. Let me tell you this. I know some shit on you, and somebody got a dollar. I got $25,000. I'm telling straight on your ass. Don't tell me nothing, because I'm snitching you right out. Okay. I need that bread. I ain't rich. You know what I'm saying? Dolly gotta eat. I'll be waving out. I'll visit you in jail, bro, but I gotta get that money. You know what I'm saying? Sorry about your luck. I come see you Tuesdays and Wednesdays. I don't know. But I'm telling right on you. So don't tell me no dirt shit you done to me. Don't think I ain't turning you in. I'm turning your ass straight over to the police. I turn my family in for 25,000. I'll be like, oh shit, you got to get. You'll eventually get out. You know what I'm saying? But I need this bread. I need a little chunk of that. I need a little change, right? So why no reward? And y'all call me a snitch. You call me Tekashi 6ix9ine. I'm telling on everybody. I'm telling on your granny. Telling on you. Telling on everybody around your ass for 25K, 25 large, 25 bands. Shit, you sitting in jail, bro. You know, I'll send you some canteen. Feel bad I told on you. Be like, oh yeah, that sucks. I had to tell on you, but man, here's some Twinkies and a damn bag of chips. Forgive me, forgive me. But you got to go. You got to go. So there should be a reward in these kids' cases. If this is a thing of, one thing we haven't seen that we seen in the Sebastian Rogers case is we ain't seen the family trying to profit off of this. Okay. We haven't seen Daniel come out and be like, I miss my kids. Can you donate to my GoFundMe? Here's my Cash App. Here's my Venmo. Here's my PayPal. We haven't seen that. Okay. Which I think is good. I think that's a really good thing that we haven't seen this, because then everybody be like, well, they got rid of these kids.
Dolly, I think because of his special needs / alert.
Yeah, but that his special needs is he's on the spectrum, but that he wasn't like, he's very low. Sebastian, we learned, is very low on the spectrum. Okay. He's a perfectly normal kid. I mean, he was on a damn chess team. Can you play chess? I suck at chess. Chess is a strategy game where you got to think ahead of your opponent's next move. So the kid was fairly smart. He wasn't, in the beginning, we got false impressions of who Sebastian Rogers actually was. And to come to find out, Sebastian Rogers was a fairly smart kid. Now, listen, I ain't arguing the Amber Alert. I'm glad they issued the Amber Alert. I think anytime you're a kid under the age of 10 years old and you go missing, there should be an Amber Alert. Okay. My point is this: these kids should have had an Amber Alert quicker than Sebastian Rogers was. Think about this. These kids are on the spectrum. Okay. We've seen that. We've seen Lily scream to the top of her lungs. She could break glass, right? She could break glass. That girl got some lungs. That's how I knew she wasn't in the woods. Right? Because the way she can scream, you would hear Lily for 5 miles in the woods, right? She starts screaming, you would hear that. And when you're in the middle of nowhere, you can hear everything. So I knew these kids wasn't in the woods. Right? I was like, man, Lily would have screamed and you would have heard that shit for 10 blocks down the road. So there is zero chance these kids are autistic. Oh no, I wouldn't say that. If you've seen the videos of the children, I do believe that Lily was on the spectrum. All right. Because a lot of these kids have, I've over the last year of covering the Sebastian Rogers case. I hate to say this, a year and a half ago, I didn't know too much about autism. Right. YouTube has taught me a lot. But over this last year and a half of discussing kids that, are on the spectrum or have autism, or adults with autism, and speaking with people with autism, I do believe from the video clip I've seen that this child is on the spectrum. And you could say, well, she didn't get her way, or she wasn't getting attention, so she screams to get attention. But some kids have like sensory disorders, And I believe it has something to do with that. And there's no reason for the parents to say these kids were on the spectrum when they wasn't. So I could easily believe that may be the case, okay, that they were. But here's the thing. If they're on the spectrum and they're under 10 years old and they're out in the damn wilderness, okay, and they don't get an Amber Alert, Sebastian's in the city. I mean, it's a rural part of the city, but it's city. There's a lot of people around. Where these kids went missing, there's nobody around, okay, but the damn moose, okay? So I think anytime a child, we need to fix what is going on with Amber Alerts and how we issue rewards in the cases of missing kids, right? There should have almost been immediately been a reward offered for these kids. CJ, thank you for joining. And there wasn't, okay? So the way it looks, these kids were taken from that property somewhere.
Rosalind just ordered mystery box and I'm packing it.
Okay, awesome. Thank you guys. Thank you guys who have been checking out my soaps, lotions, body washes, mystery boxes that we sell on our merch store. And if you don't know our merch store, good way to help the channel, buy dollysoap.com. And I know what you're thinking, damn Dolly, you sell soap? Yes, I do. Okay, and it is the best soap around, all natural ingredients. Wash your ass and titty flaps, people. Okay, you'll thank me later. You'll go, wow, Dolly does sell the best damn soap out there. Okay. How many of you guys know Lush and Dr. Squash and all that stuff, right? Better, in my opinion. It's better than all that. It's better than all that. So check it out. Handmade by these little hands right here. Well, some of the stuff's made by PJ too, right? We work together as a team. You know, I do a lot of the production. She does a lot of the packing and shipping. T-shirts, hoodies, all that good stuff. We make all right here in-house. So if you order something from us, please be patient. Some stuff we get out really fast, and sometimes we get a little behind because we're busy and we're doing the streaming and running and traveling. So we get a little behind sometimes. So just remember, we're not Amazon. All right. We ain't Amazon Prime. It ain't going to be your house in 2 days, but we get it to you fast as we can. So be a little patient with us when you order stuff. But we make some really good stuff here. So if you like stuff that make you smell good and your skin soft, you in the right place. Okay. And just to tell y'all, this all started off as a joke way back in the day. 3 years ago, I was, for you guys that seen Fight Club, remember Tyler Durgan? He financed his Fight Club through selling soap. Okay, so I used to joke that, the way I was going to be able to travel around and cover these cases was I was going to finance it with soap. Okay, which just was a joke. Yeah. But I started making different soaps and lotions, just as a trial. And then it took me a few tries, and then I got it perfect, right? Perfect. And then for the last 2.5 years, I have been selling soap, and that helps finance all the traveling and the things that we do here on YouTube, which started off as a pure tea joke, actually turned into reality. Okay. So thank you guys that support that, guys that have been purchasing our products or t-shirts or hoodies and things like that. You guys are the best. You guys are the best. Now, I would have already been in Canada searching for these kids, kicking in doors like Dog the Bounty Hunter, but I ain't got a passport. I got to get a social security card. So yesterday, just a little update, I tried to get a copy of my social security card, and they said I put my password in wrong 3 times, so they froze my account. So Monday, I'm going to call the social security building and see if I can go down there and just fill the paperwork out. We got one in Norfolk, and I'm going to go down there and fill the paperwork out to get my social security card. My birth certificate I can get online, and I already have a driver's license. That'll help me get a real ID. And then once I get the real ID, because you got to have a real ID to fly. I can't fly anywhere without a real ID. I can put in for my passport. My passport takes 6 weeks. I think you can pay a little bit, and they speed it up to like, I don't know, 3 or 4 weeks. But then I'm going to apply for my passport. So if I had all of that right now, I would already be in Canada sleuthing around looking for answers for Jack and Lily. I just can't called Tuesday. Monday is a holiday. That's right. Thank you for reminding me. So I'm going to be down there Tuesday trying to take care of that, getting everything in line so I can get on an airplane, because I can't even fly right now. I'm grounded. Okay, I'm grounded, which sucks, right? So I just got used to flying. Dolly, please play your commercial. The soap commercial? I mean, I could play it in a little while, which I could play the quick one real fast. All right. It'll echo. It'll echo. Hold on. Let me stop this screen. Okay, let me see if I still have it. So here's I ain't gonna play the long one. I'll play the 30-second one. Welcome to the wonderful world of Dolly's Luxurious Lather Bars. Some of the best soap in the world. And it comes in some of your favorite scents. Why have ordinary when you can have extraordinary? It's like driving a brand new Lambo down the street instead of an 81 Buick. Made from all natural ingredients, no harsh chemicals, this soap will leave you as smooth as a pimp with a limp. Check it out now at buydollysoap.com. And also, you can save 10% when you use the promo code Wash Your Flaps. Smooth as a pimp with a limp, right? I must have made that commercial back in the days when I was smoking, because I look Chinese-eyed as a bitch, okay? I look gassed up. I just say I don't smoke anymore. I must have made that video 9 months ago, okay? I must have made that 9 months ago. Yeah, Wash Your Flaps is the promo code. It's always been. It saves you 15% on when you buy soaps, lotions, body washes, all that good stuff. There is another more funny commercial that I did, about, your butt crack and shit like that. But that one's like a 2-minute commercial. And I didn't feel like playing that long ass commercial, So, but yeah, definitely check it out. And, maybe we need to be putting a little more pressure on the Canadian mounted popo to, to put a reward out for these children, to keep continuing to, find answers for these kids, with the mom going mute and, basically Joe Dirting her kid. And that's what she did. And we've seen it in the Sebastian Rogers case too, when people Joe Dirt their kid and they pack up and they just leave. That's not normal behavior, right? Listen, I can understand her and Daniel ain't getting along, but it would seem like you don't smoke anymore. No, I don't smoke. No, clean as a damn. I did drink a couple mixed drinks last night. I usually don't even drink, but I did. I went to the comedy show last night. I drank a couple mixed drinks. I caught me a good little buzz, right? But as far as now, I don't do anything anymore. 9 months ago, was it 9 months ago? Somewhere around there, I had a heart attack, a major heart attack, full blockage in my right artery and 50% blockage in my left artery. And I almost died. I mean, I was in ICU for days. And when I got out, I was thankful to be alive. I went to the heart doctor. The heart doctor said, quit smoking. So I quit smoking that day. Right. I was like, okay, ain't no more smoking. Well, I hadn't smoked from the time I had a heart attack. So, but I had quit. And, the heart doctor did tell me it was okay to drink every now and then, that, drinking actually thins your blood a little bit. And so the heart doctor said, don't be smoking. And I don't smoke cigarettes. I don't do any hard drugs. The only thing I did do was smoke, a little sticky icky every now and then. Well, a lot. I smoked a lot, right? I smoked a lot, like Snoop Dogg, right? But I've given that all up, right? So yeah, I haven't smoked, and I feel a lot better, to believe it or not, for you people out there. And I know people say, well, y'all, a lot of people are pro that. That's perfectly fine. But I feel a lot better now. I breathe a lot better. I feel healthier. So yeah, I gave all that up. Life is the most valuable thing you have. It ain't nothing out here worth your life, and if that's going to help me live longer and bring y'all more content, then hey, Boot says you quit and I started. Okay, well, more power to everybody. Listen, I don't knock you for what you do. Just right now, that's not a part of my life, and I didn't notice, like, I can smell it from so far away now. Like when I was a smoker, I couldn't smell it. Now, if you smoke, I can smell you from a football stadium away, right? Like it just sticks out to me, and I'm like, now I know that's what I smelled like. So you think you put a little perfume on or something, you're gonna hide the smell of it. Oh hell no, that stuff is strong. But yeah, I quit all that, and I'm still here. And there's a reason everybody's here. I think it wasn't my time. God had a different purpose for me, and that I think it's to continue to do what I'm doing, right? So, I hope to be here as long as I can with you guys, but nobody's promised tomorrow. Not me, not you. Like I said, I was sitting around watching Netflix, felt perfectly fine. Like, didn't feel bad. Great day. And the next thing you know, 19 minutes later, I'm in surgery with a massive heart attack. So you can be perfectly fine 1 minute, and you can be on your way out this world. 19 minutes later, I got a priest in the room with me praying for me. Right. And within 19 minutes, they got me from the time I called the ambulance to the hospital. They had me in surgery in 19 minutes. So, thank God. You know what I'm saying? Thank God I live close to the fire station, and the paramedics were here quick. They got me to the hospital, was ready for me when I got there. They had the surgeon ready. They had everybody ready to go as I arrived at the hospital. And, it was a hard comeback, and it's still scary to this day because, it kind of messes up your head a little bit. Like, I feel fine. Well, I'm always paranoid that something could happen. So I try to take the best care of myself as I can. But there's a reason, we're going to find answers for these kids, give the voice to the voiceless. And, I have a purpose, right? I have a purpose, and I want to fulfill that purpose at least. So, Jesus, I need a little time. I need a little bit of time, right? And I was blessed to get that. So be grateful for what you got here, guys, because it can be taken away from you in a matter of seconds, and you just don't know. That's why you got to treat everybody with respect. Love everybody, and when you say bye, let people know you love them, because you might go out the door and you could trip and fall and hit your head and die. You could get into a car accident and die. You could have a major heart attack, stroke. I pray to God none of that ever happens to you guys, but it can. And that's why it's important to be a good person while you're here on this planet, because you don't know when you're leaving it. You don't know when you're going to meet your maker, right? Do you want to meet your maker after you did something shitty? You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to get into heaven. So I ain't always been the greatest person. So these days, as I gotten older, I've gotten a lot softer, and I'm trying to make up for some of the bad things I have done in this world to even it out to where they let me in. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like, they checking IDs. I want to make sure I got one when I get there. Okay. So, let's bring some answers to people. Let's help some of these kids. Let's spread awareness. Let's be good humans. And all you got to do is, like I said, is post a picture, do something good. And I tell people this, autism is overdiagnosed. Now, listen, I ain't no medical professional, right? I'm an idiot on YouTube. Okay. I can't diagnose you a shit. My kid keeps telling me I got autism, and I don't think so at all. Right. But she's like, I don't know why she says that all the time. Like, she's like, you got autism. I was like, I do not got no damn autism. Stop. Okay, stop. She's like, you zone stuff out. That's because when you become a parent, you get a mute button. When all the craziness is going on around you, you have to have a mute button, right? Where you can just zone everybody completely out and focus on whatever you're doing. So I kind of do that. I don't think it's autism, right? And when I was young, there was no such thing as autism. I mean, there was people with, learning disabilities, and there was people with mental disabilities, but there was really no autism. Autism kind of describes everything to me, right? Every kind of it's like one word for disability. You have a disability. It don't really describe what disability you have. To me, when you say autism, like, there's so much difference in one person's autism to another person's autism. You know, we're talking a whole rainbow. I guess that's why they say the spectrum, because there's so many different types of autism. I mean, you have nonverbal autism, you have verbal autism, you have super genius people that have autism. So I don't know. I think it's just a new title. You know how they change, you know, every 10 years they like to change things up a little bit. You know, maybe 10 years from now it won't be PC to say autism. Don't say that. That's a bad word. Like the R word, right? If you had a disability back in the day, they just said you had, you know, some form of, I'm going to say it just so you know the word, retardation, right? Now it's autism. You know, if you say the R word, people be like, oh my God, you just said the R. But back when I was young, that's what, when you had mental health, that's what they would say. That's what you had. But now they've changed it up and there's more politically correct terminology for it. How do we know 10 years from now it won't be wrong to say autism, right? So, I mean, I don't know. It changes. They be changing shit up on you, and it is what it is. But I don't know. There's a lot of people in this world. I just say special needs, right? That's usually my go-to word. Autism is not mental health at Dolly. I think anything we do got its mental health, right? I think, I mean, I don't know. I ain't a doctor. I don't claim to be a doctor. I have no clue to, you know what I'm saying? I have no clue. I just call everybody special needs. You got more needs than me, you special needs. All right. PJ ain't got no disabilities and she's special needs. She needs her toes done, her fingernails. She needs his pocketbook that's $200. To me, that's special needs. Okay. So a lot of people fall under special needs to Dolly. All right. I'm special needs. I need to eat. Okay. I need to eat. That's special needs. Yeah, I mean, I know that. Half pint. Producer just got mad, right? I called her special needs. She didn't take that nicely, right? I understand. Yeah, it's two different, totally different things. I mean, look, I'm no medical professional. You know, some people, I believe they overdiagnose too, like hyper kids and all these, you know, they're giving kids all these medicines and things when all kids are hyper, right? I think it's the parents that can't deal with it, but all kids are balls of energy. Name a kid that ain't a ball of energy. Some kids, my buddy got a kid, his kid, he was telling me, you know, that his kid is hyper and he has to take him to the doctor and he's on all these medicines for being super hyper. And I was like, man, you just need to play some catch with him, get him running, get him busy, get him tired, right? PJ's Purse Fund. Thank you so much. So his son came over and I threw the football to this kid to my damn arm about felt like it fell off. This kid was the most hyper kid I ever seen in my life. Cause I'm one of the people that don't believe kids should be on these medicines. I've always felt like that until I met my buddy's kid. Okay. This kid definitely needs some meds. He definitely falls under that category of, yeah, you're right. This kid he's fucking something else. He's bouncing. I mean, I ran this kid so much throwing the football. I go long, right? I mean, he must have ran for hours. This kid had so much energy. I was like, oh my God. I mean, in life, that can really help you if you know how to harness that hyper ability, because you're going to get a lot done, right? You're going to get a lot done if you know how to focus your energy. It's just, he didn't know how to focus his energy. He was just all over the place, right? He was just all over the place. But I guess in life, if you know how to kind of hone that down a little bit to, you know, let's put all this energy into getting my job done or getting the house clean or getting you'd be awesome at, you know, I don't have that much energy, right? Like I get tired quick. I'm lazy as hell. I mean, I'm old. It comes with I used to have energy. I guess it just kind of fades every year. My energy level kind of notches down a little, little. And I used to like to go everywhere. Nowadays, I just like to chill at home. I'm good right here. I go sit by the pool, or go listen to some music, or get up here in YouTube. But I don't have all that hyped up energy. Now, like I had said, like 3 young kids on 2 young parents is a lot to deal with. Okay. Now I don't know if, Jack and Lily, what their energy levels were, right? I don't know. Were they too much to handle? I mean, there's a lot of beautiful pictures of Jack, and let's go. I'm going to show you some of these pictures of these kids, right? They look, I'm going to be honest. They didn't look abused. Like, where are all these pictures I saved? Let's go through some of them. If they load. Okay. They look like awesome, happy children. Let me share the screen with you guys. Hold on. I didn't share it. Oh, damn. Hold on. I don't need sound anyway. All right. But here they are, Jack and Lily on the little 4-wheeler. And I mean, you look at the kids, because I kind of examined these pictures to see if there was bruises all over the kids. Any bruises in places there shouldn't be, like on their necks, on the upper parts of their arms, things like that. And I didn't really see nothing that really stood out. Hold on. Why is it not showing me the pictures? It's only showing me this one. Oh, well, damn it. Okay, here they are. Here they are. All right. Let's add this to the stream now. So here they are. They're in long sleeves here, so it's kind of hard to tell, but they look like well taken care of children. Like they don't look malnourished. They look in good shape. They look clean. So let's go here. There they are. Look, she got her little kitty cat crown on. Jack looks happy. Got his little slippers on. So you notice that every picture, the kids' clothes are clean. There's not bruises on them. They look well taken care of. They are so cute. We're not going to talk about the kids in past tense. They are so cute. Not they were, they are. Right? Let's still pray for a miracle. Miracles do happen. Okay? So, beautiful kids, it's such a sad tragedy. We're going to hope that they're off somewhere. Okay? Because it looks like they were taken from that home. So, if they were taken, there's better chances now that they're alive if they've been abducted or they've been taken somewhere and hidden by their parents. Now, I ain't saying they couldn't be taken unalived, but there is a boot print at the end of the driveway. All right. So we're going to go with, let's pray to God that these kids are still with us and they're out there somewhere, and we find those answers. All right. Like I said, they clean. They got their little Crocs on. You see the little Crocs? They ain't bruises all up and down them. So I'm assuming that's Jack as a baby. Cute little boy. There they are. Oh no, that's Meadow. Meadow's the baby. That's the 16-month-old baby. There's, of course, a Lily holding her little sister. Here they are at Christmas. Like I said, they're always clean. They look like they've been well taken care of. When I seen these pictures, it made me think maybe a little bit differently, that, there may be something else going on, right? Because you see the yard and you think dirty, poor, filthy. I mean, it's just what you perceive, right? That's what I seen when I seen the yard. I was like, oh, these kids are gonna probably be dirty kids. They're super poor. I just got that impression. But when you see the pictures of them, you're like, oh, these kids were nicely dressed. They were always clean. Their surroundings look clean. They are not bruised up. What if these parents are telling the truth and these kids were abducted? They made the worst mistake was not looking after their kids, and the kids did get out and somebody did grab them. Jimmy, can you respect Donna maybe? You don't share her thoughts, but be kind, please. I'm respectful to Donna. The only thing I said was Peter Pumpkin Patch, and I didn't buy it. She could be the most pleasant, nicest woman in the world, and I don't know, guys. Right? I'm a little bit of a jokester, so don't take everything I say to heart or so personal. Right? I just pick and play and try to make people laugh. I try to make something good, lighten the mood in a bad topic. Right? Because these cases are so sad and horrible. So every now and then I try to make you guys laugh. Right? That's it. Nothing personal against these psychic women or anything like that. Now, do I believe them 100%? Absolutely not. But like I said, she can be a great woman. I don't know. So, nothing against Donna or any of these psychics out here. More power to them. I just joke and play. If people get all sensitive and their feelings hurt, you need to learn how to take a joke. Dolly is a lover, not a hater. That is right. Like I tell people, I don't hate anybody. Like I told you earlier, guys, I'm just happy to be here. Right? I appreciate life and I appreciate everybody in it. I tell everybody all the time, you my brothers and sisters, and cousins, and we're all family here on this planet. Now, you know how some family you can't mess with. There's a couple people like that out here, but we're still all family on this prison planet called Earth. So I try to respect people and be kind to people. Like, I may joke her video, but I'm the same dude that if we were walking in the door, I would hold the door for her. If she was to say something to me, I'd be like, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. I'm a pretty good person, even though I come across a little crazy sometimes on the internet. So here they are playing, and she's kind of buried in the leaves. I hope that, that ain't a sign, right? I hope that ain't a sign, but she's just kind of buried in the leaves, hiding, playing. And like I said, the kids are they're always dressed decent. They always look clean. All right. Look at little Jack. Now you can tell these pictures wasn't taken at the trailer, but somewhere else. There they are with the Easter bunny. Oh, that's a cute pic. You just said it was a sign by saying it was not a sign. I just hope that they're not buried somewhere. Is what I mean. Like, I just hope. I'm trying to keep hope alive in this. To be honest, like statistically, is bad. It's really bad statistically about these kids being with us or not. All right. So I don't even want to go there. It just made me feel bad today. She may be one of those moms that only have them cleaned up for pictures. Jimmy is a good guy till his evil twin Dolly comes out. Dolly, maybe not so good. Jimmy, good dude. He's a parent, right? So he's done raised a kid. Dolly, he's a little bit more. All Dolly is a turned up version of Jimmy. That's it. The same guy, but just a little more louder, a little more animated. But all in all, the same person. Oh, look at the cute little dress she's wearing. Okay. And I'm just looking for like things that look out of place or dirty or anything like that. It appears that, maybe the inside of the trailer wasn't as bad as the outside. All right, there she goes with her little hat on, her little love shirt, and little Jack over there. No one has seen Lily in spirit form. So disrespectful. Jimmy is loved by Jesus. He has a good heart, but is a good. What does that say? I missed the rest of it. Why does nobody talk about the grandma Dolly? I don't know. We don't hear much about the grandparents on either side. We don't. We know that Malehya's mom don't like Daniel and is accusing. Happy Memorial Day. Keep safe, everyone. You too, Darcy. Good to see you. 26 months here with us. That is awesome. Welcome aboard the Dolly train. So we don't hear much about the grandparents, or we ain't heard much, about the brother, that's out there with his clean ass four-wheeler, which has sketched a lot of people out. Okay. All right. Baby versions. Oh, all kids are so cute. That's when they're the best, when they're little like that. Then they grow up like my daughter's 25 and, at the most, what do they want? They wanted their little teddy bear and their binky at that age. Now kids want, hey, can you pay my car insurance? Hey, Dad, I'm a grand behind on my taxes. Hey, my rent's due. You think you can? My roommate quit his job and can't pay their half of the rent. You think you can loan me that? They get, the bigger they get, the harder they get. These we love Tiffany. At this age, this is where they're awesome, right? I remember my daughter was this age. It was cool. You know what I'm saying? It's still cool. It's still cool. 25 years later. She's but it was cooler when she was a baby, I have to say. I love my kids. We're binky babies. All right, here we go. So little brother, big sis, the house don't look bad. They do got some toys down on the floor right here. Y'all can see, but everything else, the kids always look clean. They always look well taken care of. They always look happy. What happened, guys? What happened? Right? There ain't no bruises on them. They look like they're they're still figuring everything out in the world. Look at Jack. Jack's a cute little kid. So he looks a little ginger here. These pictures were taken before Daniel. That might be what it is, I mean, I don't know. I just know it. Oh, look at that. Oh. Yeah, they're beautiful kids. Absolutely. There they are in the snow. He got a little Carhartt hat on. Look, they got their little boots on. There's Malehya. She's a very pretty girl. Jack looks a lot like her, too. So her kids look like her. I mean, she don't look like a strung out druggie, or not in this picture, or a killer, right? She looks before the trailer. I hope it ain't something where she went downhill. I agree. These pictures were before Daniel. She has big blue eyes. She looks happy. She don't look strung out on drugs. She almost looks like the girl from the Idaho 4. And then you see Lily in the back. She got her little Carhartt jacket on. I got that same jacket. There's little Jack as a fireman. Little Lily as a little pumpkin witch. Mom and daughter looking happy together. You believe her eyes are green? They look blue up here. Definitely look blue. Did we see this picture? Look at little Jack. It looks like you got some little Vans or something on. They don't look like boots. There he is chilling. Look at that. He got that mean face. Look, that's Jack's mean face. There she is with her dickies and little Jack in the back. So she seemed like she was a proud mother. Like everything looks so like I don't know. Like she looks so different in the interview than she does here. She looked happy here. Like she had emotion. Like you can see the happiness in her. In that interview she did, you couldn't see that. Oh, look, they're making gingerbread cookies. Little gingerbread men. Okay. That's Alan Jackson. That's Karen Reed's attorney. So that means I went too far. Okay. So there's the kids. And like I said, them kids look, well taken care of in those pictures. Malehya looked happy. Now, I don't know what happened. She looks totally different in the news interview. And she's super emotionless. At one point, this was a happy-go-lucky woman. It looked like she took really good care of herself. Let's open the phone lines. I want to hear from you, beautiful people. Give me a second. Let me put the phone lines on the screen. What do you guys think happened? Did it go bad? Is this something where she entered a life with Daniel and it was just downhill from there? Because at some point, these kids look well taken care of. They looked happy. She looked happy. What could have went wrong that now these kids are missing? All right, phone lines are open. The call-in number screen. Quick, I got to. Dolly.
Doug from Tennessee.
What up, Doug?
Hey, brother. Man, it's a sad situation there, ain't it?
Yeah, and both of the stories we've talked about today, it was sad to see Seth, the way he is, feeling like his case is going cold and people are forgetting his kid, and seeing these pictures of these children, man, it really breaks your heart.
And you wonder why he went rogue with all them damn thugs he had.
Oh, Seth? For Seth?
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't
mean,
know.
Run around all them roads. And then he wonders why everybody quit with him.
Yeah, I mean, he wasn't surrounded by the best people, but maybe listen, it's never too late to change, to try to get things back on track. I hope he does. Yeah, I hope he makes the right moves. I don't wish bad on anybody, not even Seth Rogers.
No, I wish he'd find his child.
I do too.
But
absolutely.
But I just believe it's about a little too late. He'll come around when he gets about 18.
I don't know. I mean, you always say that. You've thought he ran away from the beginning. I don't think he ran away, but we just had to agree to disagree on that one. I mean, if he popped back up at 18, I'd be amazed, Doug. I'd be like, Doug is the best psychic on the internet. Because you've been saying that from the beginning that he's gonna pop up when he's 18. I just don't know. I don't think so.
I just believe I would have ran too. I would have cared. I'd have ran too.
I mean, if you feel unloved, you ain't gonna stick around for it. Most people.
Especially if you get on that internet and you find you're a friend.
Mm-hmm.
And if you come here, I'll take care of you.
I mean,
you won't have to worry about nothing.
Yeah, I mean, I can't even find that.
You got
kidding.
that.
PJ takes real good care of me. I'm just joking. I'm trying to get stabbed today. Is what I'm trying to do.
I mean, she took care of you when you bumped your little head,
Yeah.
when you fell down.
Yeah, she did. And when I had my heart attack, she was there for me the whole time in hospital and ICU with me and everything. I mean, I'm well taken care of. I'm just playing.
I know it. I still never forget that time you fell on there.
Oh, when
That
I
was
fell
a-
live on my head
Yeah.
and busted my head open, yeah, that was bad. That was pretty bad.
That was fun.
That's
That was funny though.
I mean, all I could do was laugh about it. I mean, once you sitting there bleeding and then got up off your head, I fell right on my head too.
Hey, but these little kids right here, man, they gonna find out what happened to these two. I think them Canadian police are a whole lot better
Well, you know,
than our police.
since then, Doug, I'm going to switch from hardwood floors to carpet. Right, I have hardwood in it, but I'm changing up to carpet. So next time I fall on my head, it won't be so bad.
Then you'll have a rug burn.
Yeah, rug burn. I won't be bleeding like I was last time. I fell right on my shit. I tripped over the dog gate. We don't have a dog gate. We have a dog gate, but now it has a door because we got rid of the dog gate that you had to step over because that dog gate tried to take my life. So now we got one with a door. You just push the button and open the door, and you can walk through it.
Well, like Doug tried to take you out, tried to make you as tall as me, and it didn't work. It still knocked you down.
Yeah. Well, at least I know I got a hard head.
That's true, bro.
You know.
But these little kids, man, I'm telling you, I believe them Canadian police. I believe they're just a little bit better than our police because they keep things close to the vest.
Yeah, well, I mean, that could be good or that could be bad. If they ain't saying nothing, they may not know nothing. That's the scary thing. You know, it ain't just so much. There's no arrest yet. 3 weeks in, no arrest.
But you got to get all your stuff together, brother.
I understand that, and I'm hoping they're doing the right thing. I mean, I'm hoping, but we ain't heard a ton of good things about the Canadian Mounted Police from people in Canada. I mean, it's been 50-50. Some people say good things about the police, but then there's a lot of horrible things that's said about them.
Yeah.
I heard they can't find their patrol cars. You know?
There's a possibility, though. Them kids might have been sold.
I mean, I don't know, man. The mother looks so happy with her kids. How can you go from looking so happy with your kids to looking like a proud mother to, I don't know. She seemed emotionless on that interview, but I don't know. Maybe drugs are fucking terrible, Doug.
You know them that they'll take the emotion out of you.
Yeah, I mean,
and that one that starts with an M.
Yeah,
will make you hate the person who loves you.
Yeah, and if they did do something to their kids, I believe it's drug related because this woman in these pictures, she looked like a good woman that took care of her kids. I mean, just from what we can tell from the pictures, the kids were always clean. They were always wearing nice clothes. They look like they've been bathed. They look like they've been well fed. I mean, the mother looked happy. The kids looked happy. But you notice Daniel wasn't in none of these pictures.
Now I seen a picture of Daniel a while back. That dude lost a lot of weight in his face.
Has he?
Yes.
I ain't seen no really old pictures of him. I may have to go back and look.
He lost a lot of weight in his face.
Well,
and you can already see the skeleton coming out in their face.
Oh.
And that's the first sign.
Yeah.
That's the first time you start seeing the cheekbones. You start seeing the eye bones.
Like that's the first place when I gain or lose weight, you see it is in my face for some reason. Like when I start getting skinny, my face gets all sunk in. And that's not drugs, that's just me losing weight. When I put on a little bit of weight, my face gets fat like a chipmunk.
Yeah, but that M stuff it looks like it makes you sink in.
Yeah.
Your eyes sink in, they turn black.
Yeah, but usually people that are on that stuff are missing teeth like T-Rev. You know what I'm saying? Half their mouth is gone and shit. Like they didn't just fell out their face.
Did you ever pour it on him?
No, I never got a chance. I got busy. He got lucky. I'll get him later.
I'll never forgive him for using me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that dude gonna whoop my ass because I called him a pervert.
Oh God, he wouldn't come up to your kneecap there.
No, not T-Rev, but the one that called in. and said he knew that guy. And I said, well, if you know he was doing that, you just a pervert like him then.
Yeah, if you know
Well,
somebody, if you know somebody's doing something horrible to a kid and you do nothing about it, you're just as responsible as the person doing it.
Yeah. Well, he threatened to whoop me. I said, well, dude, I'm 6'4". If you want to come on, come on.
Yeah. A big ass 6'4" too. So, all right, Dougie.
But all right, man, I'll let you go and let other people call in.
All right, you be good. Peace.
All right, peace out. Tell PJ hello.
I will. So, oh, wait a minute. Let me hang that up. All right, phone lines are open. Dolly.
Hi, Dolly. It's Annie from Wisconsin.
Hey, Annie. How you doing today?
Good, good. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. Not too bad. I can't complain.
All right, I want to talk about this a little bit. I don't know. I'm leaning more towards them being abducted.
Are you?
I mean, how could you just do that to those precious little faces? They look like they were loved.
That's what I thought. But these are early, we didn't see Daniel in none of these pictures. Maybe something changed in her life.
Well, I think that maybe something happened with Daniel. Maybe he was jealous or something. If anything, it was either Daniel did something or the kids got abducted, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I don't know if that woman could have done that to those kids. She looked like she was happy with them.
I know. I just thought the same thing when I was flipping through the pictures. I was like, she looks happy with her kids. You can see emotion in her face. She looks happy. The kids look clean. They look fed. They look well taken care of. And now, she lives in a dirt ball ass outside of the trailer and the kids are gone. I don't know how dramatically things can change in their life, but wow, that's a dramatic change.
Well, I mean, if they were using the big D word,
Uh-huh.
I mean, she could have been passed out and who knows what he would have done. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think he's suspicious. I really do. I don't really trust him. He's been too shady in his interviews and everything else.
I agree. I don't trust him either. He's suspicious to me. I don't got no proof he did anything. I ain't blaming him. I'm just saying I don't believe everything he's saying. I just don't, in my opinion. Allegedly.
Yeah, and then he went on there to fake cry, and he didn't even have any tears. I mean, come on, Dan.
Yeah. I mean, but what about the mom with no tears? She no emotion hardly.
Yeah, I guess so. And you said that she was more interested in finding a guy than anything else.
Yeah.
I mean, that doesn't seem right either.
Well, that's my opinion. I mean, I don't know if that's actual 100% fact, but she was switching her marital status on Facebook,
Well, I mean, everybody copes differently. Maybe she just was like, she's so wrapped up into the kids, she doesn't want to feel all that pain, so she's doing something else. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
To try to get her mind off of it. And I don't know. You never know what people think and how people feel and how they cope. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah.
But I think it's suspicious.
I do too. I mean, I'm pretty sure and confident that them children are not in the woods and them kids didn't run off. So that means some kids were definitely taken from that home, either by them or by someone else. And it's just figuring that out at this point.
Yeah, that's what I said. Either they were abducted or Daniel had something to do with it, because I just don't see that mom. I don't see her. I mean, I know she's acting suspicious now and not shedding a tear and all that, but you don't know what she's going through. She could be hurt inside and she just doesn't want to show it on the outside.
Yeah, I believe there's some other domestic issues going on in that home too, because there's a reason why Michaela's family don't like him and are suspecting him, because something else has happened we just don't know about.
Oh, you mean malehya?
Malehya.
Yeah.
Because her family don't like their Daniel because they're blaming him. So there's a reason why they're blaming him. They just didn't, he's done something, and it probably some type of abuse towards their daughter is what I'm guessing.
Yeah, that could be true too. And you never know how he treated those kids either.
And we don't know how scared malehya is of Daniel either. What their level of, like she may be away from him, but if you say, hey, you open your mouth, you say anything, and I'll make sure that you're next, you may not say nothing. You know, you may be scared and believe him and take him at his word, because if he's able to hurt your kids, he's able to hurt you. You know?
Yeah, and then he's on the television trying to disprove everything. Like, oh, I didn't do this, and this didn't happen. And it's like he's like more interested in people believing that he's innocent than he is the kids missing.
Yeah, that is true. That is absolutely true. He's more worried about clearing himself than he is about finding the kids.
How does the other one not know?
Yeah.
Ever Love Me says, if one did it, how does the other one not know? Maybe she was asleep. Maybe that part is true, that she was in and out of sleep, and next thing you know, she wakes up, and maybe she's blaming him because he was supposed to be watching the kids, and this happened under his watch.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that's why.
Yeah, and I mean, it's just kind of weird that they're fighting now. You know, like somebody knows something. I mean, it's too much to not believe that. You know what I mean? Somebody knows something.
Somebody said, Dolly, your in-laws might not like you. They like me better than like PJ. So I'm liked, I think. I can't tell when when they don't like me, they talk in Croatian. So I can't tell what they're saying any fucking way. All right. Her family's Croatian. PJ's from Croatia. And like every now and then when they don't want you to know what they're saying, around me anyway, they'll start speaking in Croatian. And PJ, I tell them that's rude. Don't talk English so he can understand everything y'all saying. You know, because that's the first thing you think when somebody switches up their language in front of you. They don't want you to know what they're saying.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's what you think about. Yeah.
But that's all right. I'm working on my Croatian.
All right, Dolly. Well, I don't know how anybody could not like Dolly.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, it's Dolly.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you be good.
But you too. All right. Thanks for taking my call. Bye now.
All right. Peace. Yeah, and I get fairly along well with PJ's parents. Her mom did tell me I was getting fat. That's the first insult. Dolly.
Hi.
Hey.
How are you doing?
I am doing pretty good. Who's this? Where are you calling from?
I am Lisa, and I'm from British Columbia, Canada.
Hey, Lisa. How's it going today?
Oh, it's good. I'm just phoning in to give my opinion.
Uh-huh.
I don't know. I think there's a lot of maybe some kind of addiction happening. Maybe, I mean, I've got 3 girls and grandbabies.
Uh-huh.
So I can't imagine if you weren't under the influence of something, you wouldn't have run off and not come back like their mom did.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a little.
Do you know what I mean?
That's a little strange. It's a little hard to understand why she's not out there screaming and pleading for the safe return of her kids, and it makes me a little suspicious for sure.
I just don't know. Like, I'd be in those woods right alongside with them. I know that they weren't allowed, but there would be nothing stopping me. Like, I wouldn't stop until I found something. Yeah,
and there's a lot of moms out there that do fight hard for their children. They do scream from the rooftops and they don't stop. And then we see other parents that don't do very much, you know, and it kind of like, I know people handle tragedies differently, but I don't think that much differently, you know, that you're not going to do nothing.
Within yourself as a mother, you don't, there's that mother instinct kick in. You know, like the mother bear.
Uh-huh.
Like if she had, like, I just don't see that, that pain, that agony that a mother would have if they've lost their 2
I don't either.
Little children.
I don't either. So
like,
we got that in common. I'm seeing the same thing I don't see that in her. And
no,
which is weird because we just looked at the pictures. Did you see the pictures we were just looking at?
Yeah, and you know, I see those pictures, but I do also see filters. So you gotta, I mean, pictures are a fine line between, are they real or are they not? You know, she doesn't look like what she looks like on her interview. Yeah. Because she's got a ton of filters on her face and on the kids' face.
Okay. Okay. I didn't, you know, I keep forgetting that people got all these. There's a lady that does, I don't want to talk bad about the woman, but she's probably in her, she looks like she's probably 60, but she uses so many filters.
Yeah.
That when she don't have the filters on, she don't even look like the same person. And she looks 30 years old with the filters. And really, she's like a 60-year-old lady.
Exactly. That's what I'm getting at. She could you could always make your home feel like to everybody else that it's loved and they're in so much love and they took so much care of these kids, in my opinion. But at the end of the day, were they?
Yeah,
anybody can hide that.
I know this. Nobody ever posts the bad pictures online. You know what I'm saying?
No,
I don't.
No.
I don't. So if you look at my Facebook, it looks like I live this perfect life, but nobody really, that's false. Nobody really has it really that good. They only post the good. Nobody ever posts the bad.
No. And that's the same with the cops. I know the other day you were having your meeting online here about, where are the cops? How come they're not, how come they're so tight-lipped? Well, in Canada, that's what they do. I've had there was a few people missing here in my town. And as soon as they find anything, they're tight-lipped. I haven't even heard much about the last lady that went missing. And it's because they just shut it off as soon as they have some kind of a link to what they're looking at, right? So they could have way more information than what we have because they're not saying. And now Canadian police are like that. As soon as they have something, they don't even come near a camera.
Okay.
So
let me answer this lady's question real quick. She says, hey, what's wrong with a 60-year-old lady? Absolutely nothing. Right? I believe you've earned every one of your wrinkles. You should rock them proudly because to me, it's like a battle scar in life, right? Like be proud of who you are. Don't worry. So many people are concerned about the way they look when you shouldn't care. Right. And that's because you want other people to perceive you a certain way. Like me,
Sebastian and
some days before I jump online, I don't even wipe the drool off my face. You know what I'm saying? I don't give two damns, right? How people, look at me, if I'm pretty or ugly or whatever it may be. Just be proud of who you are. And like the woman that I was talking about, I have no problem with what she's doing it. But if you was to see her in public, you wouldn't even know it was the same person, was the point that I was trying to make. Not that there's nothing wrong with trying to be pretty or anything like that, but it's when it's so much that it don't even look like the same person anymore.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, and what if she goes missing? Like, how are we ever going to find her?
Yeah, if she went missing today, I'd be looking for a 30-year-old lady, right?
Yeah.
And she's a lawyer and an actress. And so like, and then you see her and you're like, she don't look nothing like that. It's kind of bizarre to me, but to each their own. If it makes her feel pretty inside, whatever makes you happy.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
thank you for listening to me. I just think that those two know something's going on, and that.
Yes.
And I do believe that his mom and brother, they all know what's going on.
Yes.
Like they know.
I think so too. And let's just hope and pray that the truth does come out and something breaks in this case, and whoever's responsible, they pay the price.
Yeah. Exactly.
All right.
Okay.
You be good.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, you too. Okay, bye.
All right, bye-bye. So yeah, like somebody knows something. Kids don't vanish. Aliens didn't get them. Bigfoot didn't run off with them. Right? So if they didn't go into the woods, then where did they go? Are you talking Nancy Grace? No, Nancy's actually pretty. Right? Nancy looks exactly the same in person. Nancy's pretty, polite, nice. Right. I used to be so scared of Nancy because she's so angry all the time. I didn't understand because I wasn't into true crime, but for 3 years. Right. So I didn't get why she was angry. I just thought she was a mean ass woman. But then I understood when I got into true crime, it's passion. This shit drives her crazy. These people getting away with things or people hurting kids. And she's angry over that. She's not angry in general. These things upset her. And she shows you that, and it's real. So when now Nancy Grace is like one of my heroes, right? Like I'm like, Nancy is the shit. She is the OG of this, and her passion is real. You meet Nancy in person. Nancy is the nicest person ever, sweet as can be. For her age, Nancy's beautiful. Okay, like she's nice. You see that picture of me and Nancy? Yeah, she is the GOAT. Like, don't talk bad about Nancy. Definitely, definitely, definitely. So, like I said, I don't care that women use filters or whatever it may be, but don't change your whole appearance, right? Be proud, you know, when it goes into this, just to be proud of who you are, right? Just know that people ain't really judging you that way, right? Like if your makeup's a little off, I don't be like, damn, her makeup's off, right? Dudes don't care. You know what I'm saying? Dudes, unless y'all are doing that for other women, right? But if you're looking pretty for a man, dudes don't care that much. I hate to be the one to tell you, we don't give a fuck if you put on 3 layers of makeup or 4. It don't really matter to us, all right? You know, 5 beers in, everybody beautiful. Okay. I'm just saying, you don't have to overdo it. You don't have to try that hard. Okay. Men are easily impressed. Okay. Men are easily impressed. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. I ain't trying to get stabbed. All right. But get them. I ain't trying to make the meatballs all mad at me. All right. Don't get mad at me. And that was the comedian I seen last night. That's what he calls women, meemaw. Got a dollar, bub? Or you got a dollar, meemaw? So, yeah, something dramatically changed in that home. If it is involving this family, right? And that's the thing about Sebastian Rogers, too. Look, in the Sebastian Rogers case, I mean, he lived in a $700,000 house, brick home in a nice neighborhood, right? And here's the thing, you can have the nicest stuff in the world, but if you don't got love, it's not a home. You can live in a cardboard box with love, and that's a happy home. You can live in a mansion, and if nobody gives a damn about you, that ain't a home. That's just a house. Okay? You can have the nicest house in the world. It don't make it at home. Is your driver's license not a real ID? No, right? But they take it everywhere. What's fake about it, right? That is the craziest. I think it's another way for them to get you for money, or they got a chip in it and they're tracking you. I don't know what the difference from a regular ID is. I have a state issued ID, and now they want you to have a real ID to get on an airplane and a passport to get into Canada. So if it was any other situation, I would be there right now in Nova Scotia. Right now, as we speak, I'd be in Nova Scotia. I can't be, which sucks, right? Like, I'd be out there sleuthing around, talking to the neighbors at the local pub, trying to hear the rumors. Can't do any of that because I can't be in Canada.
Got a dollar, give a dollar, choo choo.
Thank you,
Smiley face
Capital
emoji.
Productions is on the Blessed Express, and thank you for all you guys that have been donating, making sure Dolly eats. You don't want to see me skinny. Okay, I look like a crackhead. We got to keep me fed. All right, we got to keep a belly on Dolly because I get skinny quick. Right? You need a passport. Yes. And Tuesday, I'm going to get my Social Security card. That's the only thing that I can't basically almost do online. Okay, I got to get my Social Security card, which I'm going to go down to the Social Security Administration to get. And I'm going to do that Tuesday because Monday's a holiday. Then I'm going to go get I'll order my birth certificate online from Georgia because I was born in Georgia. All right. So I can get that mailed to me in 2 days, which ain't a big deal. Then I got to go to DMV to get the real ID. Okay. Then once I got the real ID, I can get the passport. So, but then the passport takes a couple weeks. I will pay the extra money to expedite it. Okay. But we're talking still weeks. And at that point, weeks being gone, what's the point of me popping up in Canada? It really ain't, but it's there for the next time something happens. I'm a little late to the dance right now on this one because, I wasn't prepared to be true crime global. Okay. And like I said, when I went to Niagara Falls this past summer on vacation, I wanted to go to Canada then, and I couldn't because I didn't have a passport. I think, what's wrong with I guess 9/11, and I just watched on Netflix the Osama bin Laden, where they went in and, executed Osama bin Laden. I watched that last night. I guess since 9/11, so much has changed because of terrorism, in our country and abroad. And things like this and people hijacking planes and, I don't know. I just think there's certain people you shouldn't even be worried about. You know what I'm saying? Like me. Do I look like I'm a threat to anybody? You know what I'm saying? No, I don't think so. I just like, I shouldn't need all that. But I can see if you needed all that and you were not from America, maybe, if you was a foreigner and you're passing through. But I mean, I look at Canada like it's our neighbors, right? I keep forgetting that they have to have a passport to get into this country, that there's a big population of, especially where I live here in Virginia Beach. There's every year a bunch of the French Canadians come here on vacation right here to Virginia Beach. And every year there's a big, huge population that come here for vacation. So, I mean, there'd be a week straight that the whole beach would be filled with French Canadians. I mean, hundreds and hundreds of them. So they must like Virginia Beach for some reason. I don't know. I didn't know it was such a big deal, that they won't even let you in. I know now. I know now. So, both. Something changed in that house with this family. Something dramatically had to have changed for it to go downhill the way that it did. Okay. You can borrow my passport, Dolly. I don't think that's going to work. But I am going to take care of all this in the next coming weeks. Just in case, me and PJ want to travel or go somewhere. She has a passport. I think she just needs to renew hers, and I got to get one, Sub up, everyone. Dolly is reaching 66K. I can't do it without the help of each and every one of you. So if you out there and you watching, definitely sub up the channel. I'd like to hit that 100K by the end of the year. It's wishful thinking. We're still a pretty good ways away from that. What are we now at? 35,000 people away from hitting 100,000. I mean, collectively between my channels, I'm over 100,000, but that's collectively. I want 100,000 on my true crime channel, right? I want my little plaque to hang on my wall that I've worked so hard for over the last years, right? Because, if you went to college for 4 years, you would have a diploma up there that says you got a PhD or something, right? Bachelor's. I at least want my little sign. And after that, I don't really even care about the numbers. And the numbers, I don't do it for numbers, but I do want my little, I put my hard work in. I ain't so much worried about the 1 for $1 million. I don't think I'll ever get to that. You never know. But I do want my little 100,000 plaque. And I would have done it if I'd have just stayed on one channel. But I kind of jumped around from channel to channel doing different things, trying to find what I was here for, right? I didn't know in the beginning that I was going to do true crime. I had no intention. I just was doing entertainment news, which was on crime. I covered court cases, but for entertainers, whatever celebrity was in trouble, and I would cover that stuff. And so I guess, I kind of been doing true crime a little longer than I want, because technically that's true crime. It's just not the same. It's totally not the same. And then I kind of found my calling, accidentally. So I switched up channels. So if I had, if I just stayed on one channel and pushed what I was doing, I would have hit 100,000, because I'm over 35,000 on Jams TV and 65,000 here. And then on Dolly Uncensored, we're at like 10,000. So we've collectively got 110,000, 20,000 subs, collectively. But I want 100,000 here. So if you're watching out there, sub the damn channel up. Help me get there. All right. Help me get there. And I'm going to get ready to get out of here. I will be back possibly late tonight with you guys. Me and PJ still got to go have dinner. So you guys stay blessed. Keep praying for these kids. keep posting pictures of Jack and Lily just in case they are out there. Same thing with Sebastian Rogers, right? Let's don't give up on any of these kids. And for most of you guys from Canada, if you've never heard of Sebastian Rogers, he's a missing young man, and you know he's important here in our state, just as important as Jack and Lily is in Nova Scotia. So you guys out there in Canada, you continue to share his picture also, because we don't know, and we will continue to share Jack and Lily. All right, sounds like a good trade, right? Let's work together. Let's give a voice to all these kids, and just remember this: if nobody else loves you, Dolly does. Peace.